Hi everybody, welcome to With Love by Carrie. Yesterday I had a video that was up with how to make a Minnie Mouse with a bow and make her like an American flag. On the video I showed you how to bring paper in to indicate, like, you know, a blue and white star pattern or a stripe pattern, and I didn't have star pattern, so I used blue paper and then I put rhinestones on it. And if you could see the rhinestones, oops, there we go. And also I had showed you in that video how to make the stripe paper and be able to cut out the stripes. So I wanted to show you my trick on how I got all of these stripes to be so evenly done and placed on here, because it's all individual pieces. The red is all individual pieces of red paper, and it's a white sheet underneath. So let's get started and I will show you. So this is one side. I finished this one just to show you what it was going to look like finished, and I now have all the pieces. So this would be my background. Like I was telling you, you cut two and you do it double. These blue pieces, I'm losing my pieces already, are the bow, and I'm going to show you how to make that 3D, because you want it to pop a little bit. The paper, the red paper on here already gives it a lot of depth, because it's thick in some spots and low in another spot. So when I put the bow on, it wound up sinking into the paper, and it didn't look like it was a bow, or it didn't look like it was popped. Everything I do, like my name of my site is With Love, I make everything with this touch of love, just to make it a little bit more special than flat. That's why I don't ever do print and cuts. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. So this is what the white piece looked like underneath the red stripes, and I want to show you how I did it so that we got all the stripes done straight. I started doing it already just to get it started, because otherwise it was going to take forever. So what I do is, when I first originally cut, I keep the paper that I cut the stripes from. So this was the front, because it's the textured side, and also it has the basil label on the bottom. So I know that this is the front. So I have to match up this shape with one of these two shapes that I started with. So I think it was this one. So, but what you do is you turn the paper over, so the front of it is facing down, and you take your piece, you turn it over, and you place it right on top evenly with the other. And then I take a little piece of tape and I tape it down so it stays still. Okay? Then what I do is I turn it over, and you can see where all your pieces go. See, all the pieces went right back in perfectly. Alright, and then when I do little pieces like this, so I know where all these pieces go, I leave them on my mat. Sometimes I have floor mats that I have pieces on, and I don't take them off until I'm ready to put them onto what I'm working on. So what I do is I take them off one at a time, and then I put a little bit of glue on them. Excuse my mess. Just a little glue. Like I said, a little glue goes a long way with the tombow. And then I just take my piece and I slide them right into where they go. And it makes it go a lot faster, because if you had to sit here and try to eyeball to make them all even, you'd be here forever. I'd say use a repositionable tape to put them on if you tried to do it eyeballing. And you could always tell, say you drop one of these pieces, like, and you're not sure which way it goes. When you use textured paper, you always know which is the top, because the top is textured and the bottom, the opposite side, has is a lot flatter. So that's how I always tell. When it comes to, if you're using like a regular cardstock without any texture, it's sometimes harder, and that's why I choose to use textured paper. It just makes my life a lot easier when I'm making my centerpieces, and I'll never have a problem. When I do it with the flat paper, as you saw in one of my videos, I screwed up because it's flat. Okay, I'm almost done. Well, I'm glad I put those down prior to starting this video. And then when I'm done, I'll show you. I did do one of the centerpieces with a pattern paper, but the pattern paper was so thin, and I guess my settings on my blade were just a little too tough, so it kept ripping it. So what I had to do was I fixed it with little, where it tore a little bit, and then I recut out another bow out of white, and I glued it on the white. So when I'm done with this, I will show you what I did with the other one. Okay, so all these pieces are on, and now you can't even really see where the white is. Okay, so then what I do is I flip it over and I pull up my tape. And this piece of red paper is going into the garbage, so it really doesn't matter if I have a mess on the back. And even if I did use it for scraps, it wouldn't matter because this is the back, and I could always pull this up. And I'll probably save it for scraps because that's big pieces. Excuse me. Okay, and now I have this little piece of tape still stuck in here. But I'm going to pull it off, and because it's going to be on the back anyway if it did rip, but it didn't. It was nice and smooth. Okay, so let's put this over here, and now you can see how well the lines are just so even, just like, when I cut it. So now we're going to take the back piece. Now I don't need the black paper anymore. Now I'm going to take this back piece. I always lay out my piece just so that I have an idea of where it's going to be going. And we're going to glue the back of this. And like I said, not too much, lightly. And this glue dries so fast. I usually try to, when I'm gluing it down, is grab a corner. If you grab a corner and you kind of eyeball it to make sure that it's even on both sides of the corner, then basically, most of the time, I won't say all of the time, but I'll say most of the time, you'll basically have it where it's supposed to be. And like I said in all my videos, I am partial to the coloring book picture look, so I always like a little bit of a black background. You can see that. Okay. Now for the bow. What I did on this one was, to give it a little bit of depth, is I glued this piece. Where's my hand? Where'd it go? This way. This piece, I glued that one flat, and then I made this piece 3D'd, and the rest of the bow 3D'd. So it gave it a little bit of depth. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you. See? Everything is opposite. Alright, until I get used to this is only my third video. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the pieces without dropping them on the floor, and I'm going to place them where they belong on here so I could see what I'm doing. And if you could see what I'm talking about in regards to it being looking flat, because it doesn't have the 3D. Okay, so this is where all the pieces are going to go. And then this was the piece, this little piece, was the piece that I put down flat onto the background. And what I want to do is I want to make sure I have it right. That's not the way it goes. Excuse me. That's the way it goes. So, change my positioning, glue this down, and if everybody likes this and likes what I'm doing in terms of I'll do screenshots of a file that I'm making, and then I will go ahead and show you how I put all of the pieces together afterwards. If you like it being in 2 parts, that's great. I will do that more often. Just give me a thumbs up or a comment to let me know what you feel or what you think of everything. Like I said, this is only my third video. I'm not sure really what I'm doing. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my pop dots. I love these pop dots. They are thick. There are other pop dots out there that aren't as don't have the height. They're the square ones. I have a little bit of everything. So, I mean, you could use regular 3D, the Scotch Guard. I did in the past get foam, you know that white foam board like that the kids play with and they cut them up. What I did was I put sticky on both sides of them, and I used that when I ran out of them. The Recollections has 2 different kinds. They have these, which are the square. They come with large square ones and small square ones. These are much thinner than these Recollections. These are the ones that I love to use. So you have a few options depending on what you feel like using. And then they also have, which I'm not fond of really that much, are the Minnie pop dots by Media. Plaid. I'm not crazy about them. They come only in that one little size. I like them to be big. It covers up a lot more room. Okay, so let me put that back over here. I'll put that away later. So now I have the pop dots on here. And the funny thing about these is sometimes they just stick to your finger, and you could keep piling up. Okay, and then you place that here. I think I put it over a little too far. It's stuck already. This one, we'll do the big pieces first and then the little piece. I just want to show you how I get into this little crevice. I mean, these are small, but to get into little pieces, little areas of like this, you need to cut the pop dot in half, which I already did on this one because I did it on that. and then you put it right into that little corner, because otherwise it'll wind up being flimsy and it could rip, get pulled. You got to remember, a lot of the times these things go into centerpieces and people move them around. Put this one here. And now put a pop dot in here. And I'm trying to, you try not to make it too close to the edge so that it's not seen when you're looking straight at it. Okay. So now you have your Minnie with the blue bow. And I'm not going to bore you with putting all the rhinestones on it. It's very easy. I tore off the label off of these, but I wound up getting this pack, I think at Michael's, and it has it in 3 different sizes. There was like 800, it says it's 840 rhinestones. They got little mini ones, a little bit bigger, and then it goes up to maybe like a 1/4 of an inch size. And all I did was, I'll just do 1 or 2, and then I'll show you how I put this together. With the Tomo glue, I love it because you could just do this tiny little dot if you want. I used to take glue and use a dotter with the round tip, pour glue out, and then do dip, dop, whatever, and do that. And that was a real pain in the tushy. So when I take my pointer and I just dip it slightly in one of the dots of glue so that I have it sticky, I grab a rhinestone and just put it down. Yes, time consuming. Sometimes the rhinestones want to have a mind of their own too. And after I put them down, I sit here and I try to push them down a little bit further just so that they seep into the glue. But I will tell you this much. This glue dries clear, so you'll never know that there's glue souped around it. Let me just do 1 or 2 more. So now I'm in the mood. 1, 2, 3, 4, because I have 4 rhinestones still, and I kind of like them when they're facing up. It makes life a lot easier. There we go. You dip it in the glue, wipe some of it off, so it'll look like that. And they're basically all dry. They're on there, but good. Okay, so what I do is I now will turn this over, and at this point I eyeball it. This is going to be a high centerpiece, so it's just going to stand up higher. I grab my skew. It's a kebab skew. I get them at Stop and Shop or anywhere that, the dollar store. It comes with like, I don't know, 50 or 60 of them in a package. And with this one, I'm just gonna kind of eyeball the how straight it is. And I'm not going to put any popsicle sticks in this one. So, just kind of straight. Yeah, didn't do too bad. That's good. Okay. Push it down a little bit. And then make sure that it's all glued down. Again, I always work with the stick up. It just stays out of my way. And I'm just going to put glue on the stick with her and get that on there as even as possible. Press it down on the stick. And now she's put together. Now, I will also, at this point, make sure this is dry first. Cools off a little bit. When you put your hand on here, you'll feel the warmth. So when it, you'll know it's dry if you, oops, not that way. Oh, that's better. You'll know it's dry when it's not as warm. And then I'll just take a little bit of the glue and just do the outline, because you really don't have to do too much. She doesn't have that much detail. And I lift it up when I do this part. Otherwise, when you press it down, sometimes it'll go off even because it's thick. I don't know how else to explain it. So I just pick it up and do it this way so that the papers become even on the sides. And then we'll do this side. And there you go. You have Minnie Mouse on a stick. And give me just 1 second. I'm going to go get the other ones to show you. Okay? This was the side bow. And that's the pattern paper. But I did put white paper behind it. Okay, so now I have them both. I can't put them in the same centerpiece because they have two different color bows, and I would not like that at all. So maybe the next one, what I'll do is I'll do a Mickey Mouse and make him into a flag, but I'm just not sure where I will put the the blue. I've seen it on Etsy or on Pinterest where it was like right in this area. So this area was going to be the blue, or just the ears, and I'm just not sure what I'm going to like when I do it. So we'll play with it, and I will let you know, and I will show you the video. So again, this is Minnie Mouse with a bow and rhinestones and paper. So thank you for watching, and please give me a like if you like the thumbs up. I don't know, I don't like that idea of doing that, but give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and leave me a message if you have any questions, and I shall see you soon. See you later.